In this video, we're going to walk through the example on the make or buy decision. And so we have an example at the top that's already solved for us. And then if we come down into the bottom, we have a practice problem. And so we have Colorado Ski Company produces 12,000 pairs of ski bindings per year. A supplier offers to sell 12,000 bindings for $42 each, which would be a total of $504,000. The current manufacturing costs are given on a per unit basis, so we can multiply that, each of those per units, by the 12,000 units to get a total product cost. So we'll go ahead and do that by saying equals, and then grab the per unit cost and multiply it by the units. And we need to lock in the number of units, so I'm going to use Command T or Function F4 on Windows. And then I need to drag this formula down that is completing that multiplication for us. So I'm going to hold down Shift and then arrow down to depreciation and hit Command D or Control D on a Windows and pull down all of those formulas. So now we've multiplied the per unit price times the number of units. And at the bottom, we can do a sum function equals sum, open parentheses, and sum all of those costs to get a total product cost of $636,000. So initially when we see this, we could buy them for $504,000, or if we make them, it costs us $636,000. So our initial look at it might tell us, yes, we should just go ahead and start buying these. However, some of these manufacturing costs cannot be avoided. So we need to take that into consideration before we make our decision. When we see this additional information, we see that fixed overhead represents allocated facility costs that will continue. So we are not going to eliminate this. I'm going to highlight it. Our supervisor would be laid off, so that's gone. So we can get rid of that. Equipment has no resale value and depreciation is a sunk cost. So we're not going to eliminate this. And there is an opportunity cost of renting out the space for $35. Oh my gosh, not $35, $35,000 per year. So now, if we kind of just re-grab this information, I'm going to copy the things that are avoidable down. And then actually let's insert, I'm going to move those down one more. And then we will have a make versus buy decision. So if we continue to make them, we will have the cost associated with direct materials, with direct labor, variable overhead, and also the supervisor's salary that we will continue to face. And I just did a sum function to show that. I'm going to move it down one because we also need space to look at the cost of purchasing, which was not somewhere we can cell reference, so I'm just going to type 504,000. So now when we see it like this, we see that in total it would cost us $504,000 to buy the bindings or $480,000 to make them. So with that information alone, at this point we're saying we should make them. Then we also have to add in the opportunity cost of renting the space, which was $35,000. And so if we add those together, then we have this comparison that shows us if we could actually rent out the space for $35,000, then the cost of choosing to make them internally is $515,000, whereas the choice of purchasing them externally and renting out the space is only $504,000. So now it makes more sense to actually buy the bindings rather than making them ourselves. And if we subtract the two costs, we can see that it's an $11,000 advantage to us to go ahead and purchase the bindings and then rent out the space for $35,000.